Hello and welcome. Today we're going to be exploring a vehicle from what I feel is an underappreciated segment, MPVs. These things aren't known for delivering driving thrills, but I'm interested in finding out if this, the Roewe iMAX8, can entertain in other ways.
The iMAX8 competes in the large MPV class in China, and while vehicles in this class are known as mom-mobiles in the West, they have a much different reputation here on the other side of the world, where they are often used as business shuttles and sometimes status symbols. In this case, it's an affordable status symbol with a starting price of around $27,000.
Subtlety is not a common trait when it comes to this segment, and the iMAX8 is no exception. Big, bold front-end design is the name of the game, and it absolutely delivers, with an expansive grille flanked by twin faux intakes. Believe it or not, this might be considered a bit conservative compared to some of its rivals because it uses black plastic instead of entirely chrome. I know that sounds unbelievable, but if you Google it, you'll see just what I'm talking about.
It does have a touch of flair, however, in the form of a long, thin LED that connects the headlights. It's not especially noticeable when unlit, but it's got a lot of presence when coming down the road at night. The theme of conservative forms with interesting details continues as you move down the car. The iMAX8 has an upright shape that's dictated by the needs of the segment, but there are a few interesting touches when you look closely. Take, for example, the chrome trim on the side of the car. It's hardly noticeable when viewed in profile, but a shift in the sunlight reveals a very interesting pattern on the D-pillar. Once I noticed this, I started having a look around the car and realized this pattern could also be found on the front spoiler. It really is a great touch.
Now that we're inside of the iMAX8, let me start by saying that I love the arrangement of the dashboard. It could not be simpler or more intuitive. All of your essential controls are either neatly arranged here in the center or to the left of the steering wheel. Both of these are embedded in this silver element that extends all the way across the dash and really helps to break up the black interior.
The style is accompanied by features like adaptive cruise control and a 360-degree camera. Glance around the interior and you'll spot another interesting pattern that's similar to the one on the outside of the car. I appreciate this little bit of extra effort to spruce things up. Roewe claims that the air filtration system on the iMAX8 can effectively remove coronavirus and similar microbes, which certainly sounds like a nice feature to have in 2020.
But that's not the coolest feature on the inside of the iMAX8. No, that would be the center console, which, if I hit this button here, the entire center console will move backwards until it is positioned between the rear passengers. It's a pretty trick feature and one that I've never seen on any other car before, but it does more than just move back and forth. If I hit this capacitive touch button here, this retracts, revealing an entire T-set. Yes, this is probably one of the strangest features I've ever seen in a car, but that only makes me love it more. This pod actually had tea in it when we picked up the car, so I guess that means people are actually using this feature. Regardless, if I hit the button again, it drops down and back out of sight. A more practical feature is probably this small refrigerator here on the front side, but let's be honest, you're buying the car for the tea set. Don't worry if tea really isn't your thing, however, as Roewe says that this can also be equipped with a coffee set, as well as a variety of other configurations.
Third-row passengers don't get their own tea set, but there is a good amount of space for a three-row vehicle. If the occasion calls for more cargo and less people, the third row can be folded or even removed entirely. The iMAX8 is motivated by a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine, making 234 horsepower and, more importantly, 360 Newton-meters of torque. That's about 265 foot-pounds of torque to my fellow Americans. The engine is backed by an 8-speed ASIN automatic transmission. The 360 Newton-meters of torque, while sufficient, doesn't result in breakneck acceleration. But when you're carting around people, whether it's VIPs or the neighborhood kids, smooth power delivery is what matters most.
Luckily, the 2-liter and 8-speed work together to provide just that. Now, NVH is a little bit high, over 3,000 RPM or so, but you'll spend most of your time below 2,000 RPM, so it's not really a major issue.
Steering is light and easy. Not ideal if your goal is carving up back roads, but great for maneuvering such a big vehicle. The suspension is McPherson struts up front and multi-link independent in the rear, producing a very comfortable ride. This is a car for people who prefer to be driven, however, so let's find out what it's like to ride in the backseat.
The second row cranks comfort up to 11 with tons of adjustability and footrests to boot. You also get a massage function so you can enjoy your tea in total comfort.
If you need to charge your devices, you can use the USB port on the side of the seat. The seat backs in front of you have a small touchscreen where you can control functions like the media and check the weather forecast. But if you're feeling too comfortable to bother touching a screen, you can even use the button on the door to issue voice commands.
模仿移动. Body control in the iMAX8 is quite good, which is just as important as a smooth ride when it comes to passenger comfort. You don't want the body swinging from side to side with every turn. Just think about all the tea that you might spill. Small MPVs may be a dying breed, but I think their larger brethren are here to stay. And the iMAX8 is a classic example of why that is. It offers space and comfort to driver and passengers alike, while also having some very unique features that I've never seen on any other car. Put that all together and you have a very compelling package. All right, that's all for today. Thank you for watching.